Good morning, my little dumpster fire babies. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, as well as if you have been here a few times and still have not hit that subscribe button, I absolutely invite you to do so. Don't forget to click the little bell to be notified of when I post more new makeup. And let's go ahead and let's dive on into today's video, which is, as I just said, testing more new makeup. That's right, we have tons of new makeup to try that I am so excited for. So first off is we have this from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is the Dead of Night palette. This palette just came out. It was just launched. It's a very, very pretty color story. So we'll be diving on into that. Then we have this from Stila. This is all about the blurring and smoothing primer. We have from L'Oreal the True Match Super Blendable Foundation. We then have, I got a mini of the new Fluff Up Brow Wax from Benefit. I got mine in, I think, clear. Well, at least I hope I got clear, because that's what I wanted. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Then I have another e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. This one's a little bit more cool. Then I have this purple blush. I thought this would go fantastic with the eye look I'm going to do. We have another bronzer from Give Me Glow to try out. We are going to be trying out a couple things from the Fantasia collection. I have the eyeliner and the highlighter. I then have some new lashes from Unearthly Cosmetics. This is in Divinity. And then I have two liquid lipstick options from Clarity. I have Very Obvious and Little Black Dress. So one is a black liquid lipstick. The other one is a little bit more purple. So I'll see which option I'm going to go with. And then we have another blush palette. This is from Adept. We have not used this one yet, but it has like this really pretty purple in it. So I felt like that would go pretty well with the purple look that we have going. So if you guys are excited to see what I think of these products, how I would rank them at the end, what look I create, then definitely keep on watching. Let's go ahead. Let's dive on into some swatches of the, what is this called? Into the Night? Dead of Night. Dead of Night. I don't know why I want to say Into the Night so much. So first up we have this shade right here. This is Star. This is a pinky purpley shifting shimmer. Up next is Sweet Dreams. This is kind of like a pastel pinky lavender color. Up next we have Murk. This is a teal emerald type shade. Up next we have Gloom. This is kind of like a slate gray. Next up we have Cloud. This is kind of a sea foam type green. Next up is Dead of Night. This is a gray with some purpley blue type of shimmer in it. Next up is Dimness. This is a darker type of purple. We have Misty, which is a lavender. Next up is Forest. So this is a green. It's like a dark green with some like lighter green and a little bit of gold shift in it. Up next is Garden, which is like a very green type of shade. We have Nightfall. This is a silver brown with some like blue, purple, green type shifts to it. So very beautiful. And last up is Bedtime. This is a like deep sea blue is what I would say. I do want to go a little bit more of a purple route today. So we're going to start off with the shade right here called Misty. This is that lavender type shade. Has a little bit of kick up in the pan, picks up on the brush decently, so let's see how well this applies to the eye. Okay, it's not bad. This will take a little bit of building up, but should, I would think, build up fine. It's Unearthly usually. It's this should, yeah, it's starting to build up nice. Like, this is Unearthly Cosmetics. Like, their formula is really good. So I don't have any issues with this. I just find that with this shade, just kind of stamping it on is pretty good. So, you know, if you wanted like a more dense brush to pack this on, that'd be good. And then you could just like lightly blend it out. But I'm finding with my big fluffy brush, just going in a few times and then just kind of starting to, you know, stamp around the product, and then towards the end just kind of blending a little bit is the way to go. Next up, we're going to go into the shade right here called Sweet Dreams. And that's just going to go kind of in our crease area. And we're just going to set and work on building and blending. Then last, for the outer corner, we're going to go into this darker purple called Dimness. I'm going to take that on a little bit more of a flat type of brush, and I'm going to start packing that right on into the outer corner, like so. And then a little bit darkness, I'm just kind of going to focus out here, blending, and then slowly bring it over. So now we're going to move on into some shimmer options. There are 4 shimmers in the palette. Yes, there's only 3 that I would really want to use for this look. So we have this here, which I think that goes beautifully. Oh, that could be fun. Actually, this right here, this is Nightfall. I think that looks really pretty to use. Like, let me just, is it tapping on? Okay, let me get a little bit more. There we go. There we go. There it is. There it is. This really pretty, like, silvery purple type shade. I think it's so pretty. But I am going to kind of like spice it up just a little. And I'm going to take that Forest, which is that green type shade, and I'm just going to start lightly tapping that on like top of that silver. So it kind of creates like a custom shade, or you got like, yeah, like that. So now we're going to move on into the lining of the eyes. This is the One Size in collaboration with Disney and Fantasia, the Point Made Bodacious Black Waterproof Liquid Liner. Wow. That just like went over everything with like no issue. It's super black. Okay, so the next thing that we have are lashes. I personally like to do these off of camera just because it does take me a little while to do, like the cutting, the trimming, the putting on. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go off camera. I'll do my lashes and stuff, and then we can come back for the priming of the face. So we have everything on the eyes for right now. So let's go ahead, let's move on into the priming of the face. We had tried this out a few videos ago, testing some new drugstore makeup. I want to use it again for my all over primer. I like to pat it in a lot more than I like to rub it in, just because I feel like it gives a better stick, and I don't feel like it pills up anything like skincare wise or anything like that. Just in case it disagrees with anything, I just like to pat it on in. Then you do have to wait a few seconds for it to get more tacky. So while we sit there and we wait on it, I'm going to use the Stila. This is the All About the Blurring and Smoothing Primer. I think they also have this in a stick. If you would rather do that, I would rather use a pump than a stick, but it's whatever. So the benefits are it blurs imperfections, minimize pores, diffuses fine lines, preps and primes skin while prolonging makeup wear. Infused with skin-loving ingredients and skin blurring complex to perfect, smooth, hydrate, and nourish skin. Imparts a natural veil-like finish, lightweight, silky formula for all skin tones and types. So we're going to go ahead. This comes with 1 fluid ounce. Pretty standard. Okay, when it comes out, I don't know if you guys can see as well because my camera doesn't want to focus. It looks very silicone like. It kind of has a silicone feel to it as well. So let's go ahead and let's take this and start putting it where my pores are, where I have the most pores. Ooh. I think this does a really good job blurring. I will say hello. Next up is going to be the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. That's about all the information I have. Comes in this cute little pump. I'm going to shake up a little bit because I want it to, you know, not be shooketh to the core. Oh. So I got one little pump out. Okay, so I have another pump. It's very, very runny. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my sponge And just kind of start pressing that all over into the skin. Now, I don't like to take my foundation up underneath my eyes, so I kind of stop it about here, so that way I can put on the concealer and not have to worry about, you know, anything else adding to cakiness to my under eyes. Alright, so that was about one pump. I need just a little bit more, just like a little tiny dot more. I would say it was like half a pump or less maybe. So that way I can do my forehead and go back over and cover like over here where there's still some redness peeking through. Make sure to get it all up on the nose. Around here. Down the neck a little bit if need be. And then a little bit on the ears. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth. Ooh! Oh, I love this. Oh, good foundation. Doesn't look overly cakey. I have lines, textures, pores, but I don't feel like it looks bad. Wow, I like that. That really sank right into the skin. I'm impressed. Okay, then, girl. So next is we're gonna use another e.l.f. Putty Luminous Putty Bronzer. This one is in the shade Vacay Mood. So Vacay Mood is a little bit more of cool toned than we had before. Where did my, here it is. So I'm just gonna dip in. This is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. So this is really good for like those cream products. I'm just gonna take some and we're just gonna start stippling into the skin. I will say this formula, these e.l.f. putty blushes, whether you do luminous or the matte version, definitely do have a building component for it to really show up, just because like look how deep that is. You think that that would be showing up a lot more than it is, especially since I've layered it up twice. But I would say this is a great formula. It blends right into the skin. I have no problems, no issues with it blending right in. This would be great for somebody who is a beginner in creams, a beginner in makeup. This would be great for somebody that maybe you know, you're fair skinned and everything else on the market just seems to go overboard real quick, and it doesn't, you know, look as good, or you know, if you do need to build, it might be muddy. That's not the case with these. These are very easy to blend. You know, obviously I've been doing YouTube for a while and I've been doing makeup since way before then, but I still don't mind something that's going to be blendable. I know not everybody likes something that's going to be blendable. They would rather have something where they don't have to work with it as much. Again, that's personal preference, so I just want to make that known. So in case you are thinking about, like, is this a good option for you, you will need to build it up, maybe more so if you have darker skin. I know they have other, you know, they have deeper shades and things like that, but just something to think about, that you may have to build it up. So I would definitely recommend this if you are a beginner to creams, beginner to makeup. These are fantastic. And they're so affordable. $7. They used to be, the putty stuff used to be $6, but I think we all know everything's inflating, right? Like, we're all inflating. So here it is. You know, you do get a little, you know, some of that luminosity, but it's not glittery. Like, the luminosity is not glitter. It's just something that's it's just very sheeny. So I like that as well. So the next up for the cheek products, we have this from About Face. This is the Cheek Freak Blush Balm in the shade Score. I have never used anything from About Face. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I've even heard anybody even talk about it on YouTube. Like, obviously somebody would have had to, but it probably isn't somebody that I like follow a lot. So it's like this really pretty purple, which I thought would go so well with the eye look. So I'm just going to take some on the back of my sponge. I'm going to stipple a little bit out on my hand. And then we're just going to start going right on in after I've stippled. Now this is a very cheap plastic component. You know, it's not anything revolutionary. I do have a feeling that it might break pretty quickly. So I just want you guys just to be aware. If you're like, I don't want something with really cheap packaging that I have a feeling might break, you're not gonna like this. This for sure is not the product for you. It does seem like it's gonna break. It's gonna break pretty easily too. So just want you guys to be mindful of that. But I will say it was really nice. It's pigmented. Again, it sinks really well right into the skin. I want to see if I could build this up maybe just a little bit more on each side. Yes, you can. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi, Lee. So now we're going to go into the Benefit Fluff Up Brow Wax. Okay, clear, crunch-free, and creamy flex wax will hold your brows. For a full fluffy brow look, flexible hold, flake-free to use brush through brows using upward strokes to fluff up and texturize. It has 12-hour wear, it's waterproof, 93% say it easily feathers brows. Okay, so it comes in like this little packaging. I think I have the other one. So as you can tell, the tips are different. This is the original 24-hour brow setter, and the tops of them are different. So if you're ever like in your collection, you're not having to sit there and read. You can automatically open your drawer and know this is it. So it comes just like a regular little spoolie. So let's see what happens. Oh yeah, I could definitely tell this is going to be like a really strong hold. I can already like tell when I just sit here and go through my brows. There we go. Okay. This is definitely one. Oh yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of crunch to it. It still is a little bit of wet and tacky, so that's why I like to do my brow gel and then move on to other stuff. So that gives it time to like set down. So that's definitely going to be like a really nice, if you want like a good strong hold. I now want to move on into the lower lash line, but as for what do I want to do, let's start off. I want to see if I can do something different. Let's start off with this shade right here. This is called Gloom. This is that silver. It does have some like glitter particles in it, so I'm going to tap off my brush pretty good. And I'm going to just start smoking this out. I may need to tap a little bit. May need to build up as well. Yeah, I definitely need to just build up. But I really feel like this is a really pretty gray and goes really well actually with the purples. I don't know if I really want to disrupt like moving away from the purples a lot, like going in with like greens. I think this is really pretty. It's a very pretty gray. Next up, I want to go into the shade Bedtime, which is kind of like this blue shade that has again some sparkles in it. So I'm going to bring that up closer to the lash line. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to add anything else to it. So now we're going to go on into the inner corner. Let's go ahead. Let's take this shade right here called Star. Let's see how this works for like an inner corner. Picks up beautifully on a brush. Like I didn't even wet it or anything. But I'm just going to take that. Yeah, I think that does go kind of good. I just got like a lot of colors, you know, and that's okay. A ton of colors is a-okay with me. As long as they go and it looks pretty, which is the case with this. So, yes, perfect. Next up, we're going to go ahead and we are going to bronze the face. This is in the shade Swim Shady. So this is supposed to be a more like warm toned type of bronzer for fair skin. So I'm just going to take that on my little bronzer brush. Nope. I'm just going to start stippling it onto the cheeks like so. So it adds just a little bit of warmth. Now I did try out another one of these in a different video where I tested out like actually like a ton of Give Me Glow. And that color was really beautiful. I can't remember what the name of it was. I think it was like Ocean Drive or something like that. That was really good. It was like not too cool, not too warm. Like it was like really, it was just like the perfect in between neutral for my skin tone. So I really love that, but I wanted to give this a try. So this is definitely like bronzer, where it's gonna bronze up my face. But as I'm sitting here, you know, doing it, I don't find that it's like, oh wow, I messed up. Like I think that was way too deep, way too much. I think it's like really easy to build and use. So we are now going to move on into our blush option. So this is the Valentina palette, where we have a couple of different blush options. I really like this. There are no shade names, so I don't know, you know, what it's called specifically. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my blush brush. It is a very glittery formula, so I do need my mirror because I want it to be very precise. I don't have glitter everywhere. But I'm just going to start lightly stippling, tapping that in. It's definitely not appearing on the skin like as purple as it was in the pan. You know, it's a little bit more leaning warm and pink. It does, you know, this is probably one where you don't really need to add a highlighter, truthfully, these formulas, because these are very much very glittery, very like ready for, you know, no highlight. It's got glitter everywhere. So, you know, we're here, ready to make everyone fear. Next up is we are going to take that One Size Disney Fantasia Bit of Magic highlighter. It's a very cute packaging when you open it up. This is cute as well. It almost makes me not want to use it, but like you can see, like, oh, you can't really tell on camera, can you? It's like Disney, the Mickey Mouse with the hat on. There, you see that? Oh, well, that one is not the Mickey Mouse with the hat on. Okay, I guess, yep, okay, so I guess it like, shit, there we go. Now that is beautiful. I don't even know if I want to use this, but we're going to take my brush, my highlighting brush. I'm nervous this might be too deep, but we'll try it out. You know, never hurts to try. It may just be a day where I look a little off. It's okay. That's all right. We are here, ready to steer through any problems. Okay. Last and final step are going to be lips. So I have a couple lip options from Clarity Cosmetics. So we have this one right here. This is called Very Obvious. So let's go ahead. Let's try this on. So we have this color here. It's definitely a lot more berry than like super purple. But I do feel like this is a really good contender. So then the next option is going to be a little black dress. So here is the completed and final look, testing out some new makeup. What do you guys think? Let me know all of that down below. But let's go ahead and let's dive on into the ranking. That's right, this is where I rank all the products from my least favorite to my most favorite and give an explanation as to why. So coming in last place is going to be this Fantasia One Size highlighter. Number one, this makes me not want to use it because of such the pretty embossing, but even then it is slightly just like a little bit too dark for me, a little bit too deep, which is kind of disappointing. It is really texture emphasizing as well, has a lot of glitter sparks in it. I don't mind, you know, like a glittery highlighter, but I don't want it all the time. I don't want it every day, like special occasions might be. I'm going to work. There's nothing special about that. And again, I just feel like I love the embossing so much on it that I don't want to ruin it, which is just disappointing. Like, why would you buy a product if you don't want to use it? But here's me just like, I love Disney. I'm going to buy this and I don't want to use it. Okay. Coming in next place is going to be this blush palette. These blush palettes are really, really pretty. I was a little bit disappointed because this one does look a little bit more purple, but on the skin, it did not really turn out purple. It turned out a little bit more warm, like a reddish purple in a way. And so I was just like a little bit disappointed that it didn't come out like this. These are also very, 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 very shimmery. So you really don't even need to have a highlighter to go with this. I did just to be extra and just to try out another product. But again, you really don't need this, like, at all. You don't. To use a highlighter, but I do think like they're really pretty. You know, if you just, you know, start lightly tapping it on, you know, it sinks into the skin. It's really pretty. It's not, you know, overly glitter heavy. It is texture emphasizing just because of how shimmery and glittery it is. But it's not the end of the world. So if you're really into shimmery type blushes, this will be a great palette for you. I'm not overly into shimmery blushes. You know, I will use them here and there. It's not my preferred formula. And then again, I was just a little disappointed that this was not actually purple on the skin. Next up is going to be from Give Me Glow. It's going to be this bronzer, the same Swim Shady. I really do like their bronzer formula. Again, these next products I love. It was just hard to rank, but you know, it's got to be done. But it's like, it's a much warmer bronzer. I think the Ocean Drive one is probably going to be like the perfect bronzer for me. I think that's the one that like I really gravitate towards. It's not too warm, not too cool. That's something that just like I was like, wow, I really love this. This one again, it's just is super warm, has a little bit of like, you know, like that orangeness to it. Not the end of the world. That makes my skin look very, very bronzed, but not something that I'm looking for. Next up is going to be the e.l.f. Power Grip with niacinamide. I really love the e.l.f. Power Grips. I have been, you know, using this here and there. So you can tell I'm starting to dent it because I have been using it quite frequently. I'm not really noticing it being any different with the niacinamide versus just like the regular Power Grip, the watermelon one, anything like that. I think like the gripping power, the staying power is about the same, and I don't really notice the niacinamide making a huge difference. Granted, we did just try it, so I am going to keep using it some more to really see if I can notice like the slowing down of like the redness, things like that. Next up is going to be this liquid lipstick from Clarity. I don't feel like it's overly drying. This does take a really long time to dry down though. And one thing about it is it's just not my favorite. Like it just, you know, it just looks like really light, and I really went over it with like 2 good coats on both the top and the bottom. I mean, this is good. Like it's not, again, it's not overly drying. It does look good. It does look decent. But in comparison to like my Give Me Glow one, which that right there is like what I compare everything to, because that is the perfect black liquid lipstick. It just doesn't really compare. But it is still a good option if you are wanting a black liquid lipstick and you want to support Clarity. Next up is going to be the Benefit Fluff Wax. This is a really good wax. Brow wax. It really did fluff them up. I didn't notice anything. It has a tiny bit of a crunch, but this is not as bad of a crunch as like the original 24-hour brow setter. So I really do like this. I felt like it really fluffed up my brows, really kept them in place, had a good hold without being overly crunchy. So if that's something that you're looking for, I think you might like this. I would definitely recommend trying out the mini first and then using it up, because even using up the mini, it's going to take you a minute. So definitely just check that out in the mini size. And then next up is going to be this from Stila. This is the All About the Blurring and Smoothing Primer. I thought it did a really good job with the blurring of the pores. This isn't like as good as like my Winky Lux or the Glowish Blur Jam or the Hourglass. Those 3 are my top favorite for like blurring of the pores. I think this one is decent and it's really good. It's just not going to be able to compare to the other ones. So if you don't own any of the other ones and you are wanting to check out the Stila one, I don't think you'll be disappointed in it. But if you were like, oh, I want one that you would recommend, I'd recommend the other 3 over that. Next up are going to be the Unearthly Cosmetic Lashes in Divinity. I think these are super beautiful. It almost gives kind of like that cat eye effect where it's just very like, the bulk of it is just very wispy on like the outer edge. That's something that I personally really like for my hooded eyes, is to have that on the outer part, so that way you can still see my lid without having it covered up. These are easy to use, easy to work with. You know, the band is really nice and thin, but I don't struggle with having to try to put them on and make sure that the band's in the right place. It's really easy. You can just boop, 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 like it's done. It's super easy, holds well, lasts a long time. These are really good lashes no matter what style you get. You can reuse those a ton. I know I do. Next up, also from the Fantasia collection, is this eyeliner. This was a deep dark black eyeliner. It was very good. I mean, it just glided right over everything. No problems, no issues. Very pigmented, very black, very easy to glide on. There was nothing bad I really have to say about this eyeliner. I was markedly impressed. I don't know what I was expecting, truthfully, but I don't know if I was expecting it to be like that good. Next up is going to be the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer. I really liked this shade for me today. I thought this was a really good, like cool but still warm type of option. So a really like neutral option for my skin tone. Again, you do have to build it up. I'm okay with that. If you're not going to like this product. If you are okay with building up, if you're like a beginner, if you're just trying cream products, if you're nervous about it being luminous, if you're somebody that goes overboard quickly, I would 100% recommend these. If you're somebody when you want immediate payoff, you don't have to spend a lot of time building, you don't want the luminosity, whatever the case may be, this is not going to be it for you. But I think it's really beautiful. Next up is going to be this About Face blush. I was markedly surprised. I thought this was this is a really beautiful color. This adds something to my cream collection. I don't really have one that's like in this type of purple. I love how it like easily sank into the skin. It was really nice, really pigmented. You could build it up to add more intensity if you would like or not. Again, I just thought that it was just like a great formula. The only qualm is like the packaging does feel pretty cheap. But it's not the end of the world because this is a very creamy, easy to use blush. It's really nice and pigmented and will give you like a fun color. I will definitely be ordering more. In second place is going to be this L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. I've heard some people say that this actually is not a new product. They just repackaged it. Either way, I don't think I have tried any of like either the newer version, the older version, whatever the case may be, whatever the version is. So I just tried this and I love this. This sank beautifully into the skin. It did not sit on the skin. It was really easy to use. It played well with all of the other products that I had. It played well with the primers. I thought it was just very beautiful. It did kind of give a little bit of a healthy glow without being overly too glowy. I thought it was really decent. I'm actually really impressed with that. So I'll definitely be using that again. I feel like right now I'm like on a really good complexion kick, and so far the complexion products that I've tried have been pretty decent, so I'm actually really impressed. So that leaves us with our number one, which is this palette, The Dead of Night. This is such a beautiful palette. I know if you like look at this, you might be like, okay, purples, greens, but there's so much more you can do. You have this really pretty gray, but like you'd be like, oh, that's gray. It's like a slate gray, but like somehow it looks so beautiful even with the purples. This shade right here again is another really pretty shade. You could maybe go for like a little bit more of like a bluish look. You could do like a grayish look. Like there's a lot of things that you could really do with this palette. I think it's very beautiful. The shimmers are absolutely stunning. I love being able to layer different colors on top and have them like work well together. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. This is such a beautiful palette. They did a fantastic job. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you guys did, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Click the little bell because I test out tons of new makeup. Would love to share all of that with you guys. Don't forget to go follow me over on Instagram. That is always linked down below. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.